August 6, 1945. A normal morning in Hiroshima. Children were on their way to school. Workers had just started their day. And then, in less than a second, everything changed. A blinding flash, a deafening silence, and a weapon the world had never seen before. But the real horror of Hiroshima didn't end with the explosion. In fact, that's where it truly began. To understand Hiroshima, you need to understand the world at that time. It was the final stage of World War II. Millions were already dead. Entire cities had been reduced to rubble. Japan, however, refused to surrender. The United States feared that invading Japan directly would cost hundreds of thousands of lives, so they turned to something experimental, something terrifying. A project so secret, even many government officials didn't fully understand it. It was called the Manhattan Project. Some of the greatest minds in science were brought together, including J. Robert Oppenheimer, often called the father of the atomic bomb. Their goal? To harness the power of the atom. And they succeeded. In July 1945, the first nuclear test lit up the desert. Oppenheimer later recalled a line from ancient scripture: "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." But just weeks later, that power would be used on real people. On the morning of August 6th, a bomber named the Enola Gay flew over Hiroshima. Inside it was a single bomb, nicknamed Little Boy. At exactly 8:15 a.m., it was released. It fell silently for 43 seconds, and then a flash brighter than the sun. Temperatures soared to millions of degrees. The city evaporated. Buildings turned to dust. People near the center were instantly vaporized. No pain, no sound, just gone. A massive shockwave followed, crushing everything in its path. Fires spread across the city, turning Hiroshima into an inferno. But this was only the beginning. Those who survived the blast faced something even worse. Skin hung from their bodies like melted cloth. People wandered the streets, burned, bleeding, in shock. Many searched for their families, but found nothing, only ashes and shadows, literal shadows of people burned into walls, frozen in time, in the exact moment they died. But the most terrifying part was invisible: radiation. Days later, people who seemed fine started dying. Hair fell out, skin developed strange burns. They began bleeding internally. Doctors had never seen anything like it. There was no cure, no understanding. This silent killer continued claiming lives long after the explosion. Survivors, known as hibakusha, carried this suffering for decades. Many developed cancer. Others faced discrimination, treated like they were contagious. Behind the scenes, some survivors were studied. Their suffering became data. To understand radiation, to prepare for future wars. But many felt they were never treated as humans again, only as subjects. The official explanation says, the bombing of Hiroshima helped end the war and saved lives. And maybe it did, but it also killed over 140,000 people, most of them civilians. So the question remains, was it necessary? Or was it a demonstration of power to the rest of the world? Today, Hiroshima has been rebuilt, a modern city full of life, but the scars remain, not just in Japan, but in all of human history. Because Hiroshima wasn't just a tragedy, it was a warning, a moment that showed what humanity is capable of and what it must never repeat. If you want to uncover more dark truths from history, subscribe.